evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to call the December 4th, 2023 City Council meeting to order at 7 p.m. So if everyone would please rise for the pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Ray Solomon.
Here.
Glenn Conklin.
Present.
Scott Dyke.
Here.
John Burchett. Darrell Jefferson.
Here.
Claudia Gazal.
Here.
Tina Oberlin. Mark Sepiti. Nate Albert.
Here.
Joe Kubal.
Here. Okay, you have before you the minutes of the city council meeting held on November 20th, 2023. Motion would be in order.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderwoman Gazal, seconded by Alderman Jefferson for the approval of the November 20th, 2023 minutes. Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Scott Dyke.
Yes.
John Burchett. Darrell Jefferson.
Yes.
Claudia Gazal.
Yes.
Tina Oberlin.
What were we approving? I'm sorry, I was out of the room.
Minutes from November 20th.
I read them and I approved them, yes.
Mark Sepiti.
Abstain.
Nate Albert.
Yes.
Joe Kubal.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, you have before you the minutes of the work session held on November 27th, 2023. Motion would be in order.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Albert, seconded by Alderman Jefferson for the approval of the November 27th, 2023 work session minutes. Questions or comments?
I have a comment. Clerk, can you add under my comment on page, says page 12, item 2, where I comment under the finance manager, can you put, can you add what I stated that night? I asked the mayor if he has any comment to the finance office, and I was told no need to say what was been said.
Okay, we'll go back and listen to it and put it on there.
Any other additions or corrections? Roll call, please.
John Burchett.
Yes.
Darrell Jefferson.
Yes.
Claudia Gazal.
Yes.
Tina Oberlin.
Yes.
Mark Sepiti.
Yes.
Nate Albert.
Yes.
Joe Kubal.
Yes.
And Scott Dyke.
Yes.
Motion carries, thank you.
And you also have before you the minutes of the work session held on November 30th, 2023. Motion would be in order.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderwoman Gazal, seconded by Alderman Jefferson for the approval of the November 30th, 2023 minutes of the work session. Questions or comments? Roll call.
Tina Oberlin.
Yes.
Mark Sepiti.
Yes.
Nate Albert.
Yes.
Joe Kubal.
Yes.
Scott Dyke.
Abstain.
John Burchett.
Yes.
Darrell Jefferson.
Yes.
And Claudia Gazal.
Yes.
Motion carries, thank you.
Okay, moving on to our city attorney. Mike Sanchi is with us this evening. Good evening, Mike.
We've got an ordinance here for you an ordinance regarding the Illinois Paid Leave for All Workers Act for approval. I'm sorry. Can you not hear me?
Better.
Okay. The first ordinance that we've got from our office is the ordinance regarding the Illinois Paid Leave for All Workers Act for the city of Crest Hill. We discussed this at the work session, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
So moved as presented.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderperson Oberlin, seconded by Alderman Sepiti for the approval of an ordinance regarding the Illinois Paid Leave for All Workers Act for the city of Crest Hill. Questions or comments? Roll call.
Darrell Jefferson.
Yes.
Claudia Gazal.
Yes.
Tina Oberlin.
Yes.
Mark Sepiti.
Yes.
Nate Albert.
Yes.
Joe Kubal.
Yes.
Scott Dyke.
Yes.
And John Burchett.
Yes.
Motion carries. It'll be ordinance 1966.
We've also got here for your approval tonight, a resolution amending section 3.11 benefit eligibility and section 8.2 vacation of the city of Crest Hill employee handbook, and we're seeking approval of that as well.
Just for the record, Mike, as we spoke, everything here that we have done meets the requirements of the new laws, right?
Yes.
Thank you so much.
I have a quick question that I didn't ask at the work session. Does temp employee,
So one of the changes that's being made is to cover seasonal and temporary employees. Yes.
I'm talking like GovHR, like more governmental,
Yeah, GovHR are independent contractors. They're employed by GovHR. GovHR then has a contract with the city. They wouldn't fall under this policy.
okay, so that's covered under GovHR.
Yes.
Okay.
So they may be subject to the act, but they would be subject to the act with GovHR as the employer,
With
not the
them,
city
not
of
with
Crest
us.
Hill.
Okay, just want to clarify that. Thank you.
Motion would be in order.
So moved.
Second,
We have a motion by Alderman Sapiti, seconded by Alderperson Oberlin for a resolution amending section 3.11, benefit eligibility, and section 8.2, vacation of the City of Crest Hill Employee Handbook. Questions or comments? Roll call.
Claudia Gazal,
Yes.
Tina Oberlin.
Yes.
Mark Sepiti.
Yes.
Nate Albert,
Yes.
Joe Kubal,
Yes.
Scott Dyke.
Yes.
John Burchett.
Yes.
Darrell Jefferson.
Yes.
Motion carries, resolution 1192.
Okay, anything else, Mike?
No, sir.
Any questions of City Attorney?
Did you get any answer on the question that I asked about the request from the council for the internet search?
I asked Mike about it. He's working on it.
We'll be working on this for 2 months. Do we have an idea when we're gonna get it?
I do not, but I'll bring it back up with him.
All right.
Make sure we reach out to you.
Thanks.
All right, thanks, Mike. Moving on to our Public Works Department, our Director of Public Works, Blaine Klein. Good evening, Blaine.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I have no items for tonight. If anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Any questions of Public Works?
I have one comment, sir. I just want you to know that I have a resident in my ward who called me, and usually it's not for a good reason, but he called me specifically to give you praise on how you handled the snow and that you put the liquid down prior to the snow coming, and, which is what he said all along apparently we should do, and that he thinks you're wonderful. And trust me when I tell you, this is high praise, sir. So thank you and your crew.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Blaine. Moving on to our City Engineer, Ron Wiedemann. Good evening, Ron.
Thank you, Mayor. Just have one item, looking for a motion to approve an ordinance amending provisions of Title 13, Water and Sewer, Chapters 13.24, Rates and Charges of the City of Crest Hills Code regarding water and sewer rates.
Motion would be in order.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderwoman Gazal, seconded by Alderman Jefferson, for the approval of an ordinance amending provisions of Title 13 Water and Sewer, Chapter 1324 Rates and Charges of the City of Crest Hill Code regarding water and sewer rates. This was discussed at length at last Monday's work session. Questions or comments? Roll call.
Mark Sepiti,
Yes.
Nate Albert,
Yes.
Joe Kubal,
Yes.
Scott Dyke.
Yes.
John Burchett.
Yes.
Darrell Jefferson.
Yes.
Claudia Gazal.
Yes.
And Tina Oberlin.
Yes.
Motion carries, ordinance 1967.
And that's all I have on the agenda, unless there are any questions by council.
Any questions of City Engineer?
I have a question, Ron. The traffic signal at Randitch and Weber, especially southbound, it seems to be off. It holds traffic for an inordinate amount of time, and the traffic sometimes build up as far back as Rankin. So can you have it checked out?
I will contact Gas and Wash. I mean, it's a county signal, so really I had to contact the county. But I'll reach out to Gas and Wash, take a look at it, and I'll let the county know also.
Thank
That
you.
happened after they did some work there.
Yeah, they just, I think last Tuesday, they activated the fourth leg, the Randitch leg, so, it just work has just recently been done out there. So I'll reach out to them tomorrow morning and have somebody take a look at it.
Thank you.
Ron, I was wondering, where are we at, or what are we waiting on for the monument over there for the welcome on Route 53 by the golf course?
We're waiting on the stones.
Waiting on a stone yet?
I had a conversation with the contractor yesterday, middle of last week. Stones were to be delivered this week. He needs about a week or two to polish them up and finish them. And he's planning on setting them weather permitted in the next couple of weeks, so.
All right,
it's
thank
our
you.
Same schedule for the signs out here at City Hall, so I'm pushing them, try to get it done before Christmas, but it kinda all depends on the weather.
What about Weber?
Same schedule,
Same.
it's all the same schedule.
Okay, thanks, Ron. Moving on to community development, our interim community development director, Ron Metzger. Good evening, Ron.
Thank you, Mayor, and good evening, City Council. I have two ordinances on this evening's agenda. I think it's important to note that both of these items were discussed at the last workshop meeting, and the ordinances reflect the discussion and direction given at that meeting. First ordinance is an ordinance that would approve granting of a special use permit with respect to certain real estate property located within the corporate boundaries of the city of Crest Hill, application of Caliber Collision Centers.
Okay, before we do that, let me ask City Council, and this was discussed at length also at the work session last Monday night. Does anyone from City Council have any questions to Ron in regards to this request? Okay, hearing none, I see the owners of the property in the audience. Would you like to address the City Council at all?
I don't have any questions.
Okay. Are there any, let me ask, is there any questions of the owner of the property in regards to this at 1815 Plainfield Road from City Council? Okay, thank you. All right, next I would ask if anyone in the audience would like to speak for or against the request of Caliber Collision for a special use in regards to case SU-23-5-11-1 for the property owned at 1815 Plainfield Road for a special use for an auto repair shop. Please step to the podium, state your name for the record, your address is optional. I will ask a second time if anyone would like to speak for or against the request of Caliber Collision for a special use for a auto repair shop, case SU-23-5-11-1 for the property at 1815 Plainfield Road. Please step to the podium, state your name for the record, your address is optional. And the third time, if anyone would like to speak for or against the request of Caliber Collision from 1815 Plainfield Road, case SU-23-5-11-1 for a special use for an auto repair shop at that property. Let the record show that no one has approached the podium to address the City Council to speak for or against. And to the City Council, you have an ordinance granting a special use permit with respect to certain real property located within the corporate boundaries of the City of Crest Hill. The application of Caliber Collision Centers, which was approved also by the Plan Commission. Motion would be in order.
So moved, yes, presented.
We have motion by Alderperson Overland, seconded by Alderman Jefferson. Questions or comments of the motion? Roll call, please.
Nate Albert,
Yes.
Joe Kubal,
Yes.
Scott Dyke.
Yes.
John Rashay.
Yes.
Darrell Jefferson.
Yes.
Claudia Gazal.
Yes.
Tina Oberlin,
Yes,
Mark Sepiti.
Yes.
Motion carries ordinance 1968.
Okay. Next one, Ron.
The second item, asking for approval of an ordinance amending section 15:08:020, building permit fees for commercial and industrial construction of chapter 15:08, building permit fees of title 15, building and construction of the Crest Hills City Code of Ordinances.
Again, this was discussed at length at a work session last week. If there was any questions or comments from City Council, I would ask for a motion.
So move.
second,
Motion by Alderman Albert, seconded by Alderperson Overland, for an ordinance amending section 15:08:020, building permit fees for commercial industrial construction of chapter 15:08, building permit fees of title 15, building and construction of the Crest Hill City Code of Ordinances. Questions or comments? Roll call.
Joe Kubal,
Yes.
Scott Dyke.
Yes.
John Rashay.
Yes.
Darrell Jefferson.
Yes.
Claudia Gazal.
Yes.
Ken Oberlin.
Yes.
Mark Sepiti.
Yes.
Nate Albert.
Yes.
Motion carries ordinance 1969.
Okay, any questions of community development? Okay, thanks, Ron. And to the owners of the property at 1815, I know you still own the property. Congratulations, everything has gone through. This was basically a housekeeping item that the city of Crest Hill needed to take care of from long ago. So thank you for your cooperation in the matter, and I'm sure you'll be in contact tomorrow, Ron, with the new person that will be in the facility, and letting her know the outcome of tonight's meeting. So congratulations and thank you. And thank you for the way you prepped the property for all these years that you had. We have gotten a lot of compliments about the property over the years, I will tell you that, so thank you very much. All right, moving on to our police department. Our police chief, Ed Clark. Good evening, Ed.
Evening, Mayor and Council. I don't have any agenda items this evening. I just wanted to address that we have received several complaints regarding the industrial park off of Division. A lot of truck traffic and issues. It's usually seasonal around this time, but this year seems to be a little bit more than normal. I am working with Amazon, the other truck companies, to try and ease that as best we can with the infrastructure we have. And the only thing I can say is I'm working on it. I'm trying to do the best to keep everybody happy. But it's been kind of a struggle, but we're going to look at a couple more things. I know that Amazon, being the larger company, has made some concessions as far as they're trying to speed up their process of getting the trucks in and that kind of thing to try and keep this the truck flowing moving. But it is just a massive amount of trucks, and if anybody has any questions, they can call me, and I'll be happy to discuss it with them. Just trying to get this issue to kind of ease down a little bit. But it is a lot of congestion, a lot of truck traffic, but we're doing the best we can. We've written tickets, and we've been up there as much as we can for people not parking or parking in the no parking areas. So if anybody has any questions on that. Otherwise, I'll entertain any other questions.
I had a question, Chief, on that topic. Gaylord from Division to Route 30,
Yep,
is that road an approved truck route?
it is.
It is?
It is right
Okay.
now. It is not a no truck route.
Okay, because I had heard and I got some questions from residents saying that they thought it was not an approved truck route and that there were in fact signs there designating it, but that now the signs are gone.
No.
So there's just some question from residents because there is a tremendous amount of truck traffic going from Division to Route 30 on
That's one thing-
Gaylord.
That's one thing I'm gonna start looking into, because some of that roadway is also unincorporated, so there's some issues there. But again, it's December now, so hopefully we'll get some decisions made for next year, so we're not dealing with this problem. I'm also working with the business on the corner about how they're coming in and out off of Gaylord as well.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And also, Chief, along that same line is, Boreal, is that a approved truck route? Because I've noticed tractor trailers coming from Division, going up to, what is it?
Renwick?
Renwick, I'm sorry.
No, it is not, and we
It is
will
not?
address that.
Okay, yeah.
It's very disappointing because, literally this time of year, the trucks are absolutely everywhere in the whole city. And every municipal street, you can see a tractor trailer come down, and it's just very discouraging. I think that we need to have a work session to really discuss and enforcement of trucks and no trucks no truck signs, no truck turns, whatever it looks like, just a more comprehensive plan on trying to control some of this truck traffic, like our conversation last week, Chief.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
I will say, Ed, to your credit, and I know you and the deputy chiefs have met with all the representatives of all the trucking terminals in that business park throughout the year. And again, this is the busy time of the year, these 4 weeks from Thanksgiving to Christmas, where we have the most influx of trucks. I know there were a couple incidents in the last couple weeks on Division Street with the backups. A couple of those were isolated incidents from accidents that had occurred that needed immediate attention. So it's not for lack of trying. We are exploring all our options to try to make it work and to try to improve the process here over this time between Thanksgiving and Christmas and throughout the rest of the year also. And I know you've done an awful lot to try to get some cooperation out of all the trucking terminals there.
Thank you.
So,
Ed, since you mentioned Amazon, what kind of communication you have with them? Are you able, like, to speak with them in person?
Yes, yeah, I've
So
met
the
with,
issue that we had, I tried to contact them, but nobody will take my calls because we have a lot of Amazon vans that they go through Tahoe, and they always go the wrong way.
Okay.
Because they don't wanna go all around, so they always go the wrong way.
I will,
They go through do not enter, and it seems like they don't care. We have stopped a couple people, a couple residents as well, they have complained, and they don't care, they just go through they don't wanna go around, so they just cut through.
okay. I will definitely speak to the plant manager and see if we can get that addressed.
Thank you.
okay, any other questions of police chief? All right, thanks, Ed.
Thank you.
Moving on to the mayor's report, I do not have any agenda items this evening, just a couple comments. First of all, I'd like to talk a little bit about the Winterfest that we had here the day after Thanksgiving. It was a well-attended event. I seen a lot of happy faces, both on the children and on the parents that were here. I certainly want to extend my gratitude to Blaine Klein, to Tony Halaska, and to John Pellegrini, who I know did a lot of setup and work inside this building here and outside of the building, and to all the other members of the Public Works Department for everything that Public Works did for the successful event that we had here. To Ed Clark and Jason Opiola and all the police officers that were here present also for the event throughout the day. To Alderman Elbert and Alderman Sapiti as committee members for the event. Thank you. To our city council members, Alderman Verche, Alderman Jefferson, Alderwoman Gazal, Alderperson Oberlin, our city treasurer Glenn Conklin, and our city clerk Christine Verche were here also to help serving food. And I know that the parade started out in the early afternoon with Santa Claus and the elves that were in the parade and that were in this building also. And again, I saw a lot of happy faces on all the children. So it was a well-attended, and anyone else that I may have forgotten, thank you for everything that everybody did. It was our first year here, so it was a good learning curve and a good learning process for us for next year. So just thanks to everybody that was here and helped out for the event. And then on last Friday, the Allen Oak Club on Plainfield Road, right next to 1815 Plainfield Road, had their open house, so they are settled in. I was there along with our treasurer, Glenn Conklin. It was a nice crowd. There's a lot of people there that can offer help and assistance for anybody that needs it for any type of addiction or service or any kind of problem that you have. So take advantage of that to anyone that needs those services. And to Todd Carter, who was there from the Allen Oak Club, what an improvement that he made in that building. It's a very old building, and it was an animal hospital for many, many years, but they've made a lot of nice improvements into that building, and we wish them nothing but a lot of success in the city of Crest Hill. That's it for the mayor. If there's any questions, I'll certainly try to answer them.
Well, I wasn't able to be there when you cut the ribbon, but I did show up after work for about an hour, and they gave me a tour of the facility, and I had very nice conversations. So I was also there, just not when you were there.
Okay, thank you.
I would like to add, Mayor, that with the Winterfest, Blaine, Assistant Ada, worked a lot, and I think she deserves some credit as well, because she's the one that pretty much ordered everything and made all the setups in here. So she needs to be recognized as well.
Okay, anybody else? All right, moving on to our city clerk's report. Christine Verche Hall. Good evening, Chris.
Good evening, I have nothing to report tonight.
Any questions of city clerk?
I don't have a question, but I have a comment, and I'm kind of disturbed about some information that multiple staff have brought to my attention upon the incident that happened a couple of days ago in a meeting, in a budget meeting, that it was not hosted by you. You were invited to that meeting, so it was hosted by the finance department. And I just don't know where we're gonna stop, when we're gonna stop attacking people and screaming at people the way we did to an interim that is not our employee. He was invited to this meeting, and I don't know what is the goal here. Are we looking to cut ties with GovHR at this point? We continue harassing this person. I don't understand when it's gonna stop. Are we looking for a lawsuit? I mean, there's no reason to yell and scream. I mean, we have staff in the front that heard that night what happened.
Okay. You're the one that started with everything that this one is doing this one's work, not doing their work.
No,
Mr.
that has
Wiedemann-
nothing to do, I'm talking
Excuse
about
me,
Dave,
I'm gonna
was
step
still
back.
talking, I
I'm
was
gonna
still
step back
talking.
to where-
I was still talking, I'm talking about Dave, so I'm talking about the interim person that was in a budget meeting, you start screaming at him.
I did not start screaming at
That's,
him.
okay,
All
well,
right,
then
hang on, I
everybody is
think
alive.
this discussion should not be held in public out here. If there is
Well,
a
it
need to
was-
discuss this, we should be in executive session if you care to do that.
I will take
later in
executive
the evening.
session, but it's gotta stop. Everybody have to start staying in their lane, simple as. And for us to continue on doing this to an interim, I think is just disgusting. And we gotta stop the games.
Well, you started with everybody about Mr. Wiedemann, doing banners and shirts. You did it about,
Yeah, I
Karen
did,
doing
'cause he's
Maribel's
engineer.
thing. I walked in and I asked, what is an HR person doing in a budget meeting?
Okay, again.
No, I
this-
want it
but this
public.
should-
Why is an HR person doing it in
To
a,
our attorney, Mike, should this be an
Budget
executive
meeting.
session?
and FOIA's going into the police department for copies of the tapes?
If we want to talk about employment stuff, it's more appropriate to do that in executive session. And if this is a meeting that happened, it's probably
Yeah.
better to have this discussion offline.
Okay,
I brought it up because it happened in a public building. It
Understood.
happened in front of all the staff, and the staff needs to know that there's a line that we should not be crossing constantly.
Understood, thank you.
okay, any more questions of city clerk? All right, moving on to our city treasurer's report, our treasurer Glenn Conklin. Good evening, Glenn.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I have 3 items before you tonight. I'd like Lisa to start off with number 8.
Thank you, Glenn. So this item is going to be brought to council on an annual basis. Per Resolution 974, the city will make a minimum contribution of $150,000 in addition to 100% of the actuarially determined contribution each fiscal year to the police pension fund until that fund reaches 80% of its funded status. So this item is just to ask for council's approval of $150,000 payment to the city's police pension fund, which is in accordance with Resolution 974.
As well as budgeted.
Yes,
So
it is
moved.
budgeted.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderperson Ogle,
Second.
seconded by Alderman Elbert, for a resolution authorizing the adoption of a police pension funding policy for the city of Crest Hill. Questions or comments? Roll call.
Scott Dyke?
Yes.
John Burchett?
Yes.
Darrell Jefferson?
Yes.
Claudia Gazal?
Yes?
Tina Oberlin?
Yes.
Mark Sepiti?
Yes.
Nate Albert?
Yes.
And Joe Kubal.
Yes.
Motion carries.
I want to thank you all for that. You're making big progress in that police pension shortfall, and
Well,
have
thank
been
you.
for a number of years. Next up, I seek your approval on our list of bills through December 5th of 2023 in the amount of $1,890,898.30.
So moved as presented.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderperson Ogle, seconded by Alderman Jefferson, for the approval of the list of bills. Questions or comments? Roll call, please, Chris.
John Burchett?
Yes.
Darrell Jefferson?
Yes.
Claudia Gazal?
Yes?
Tina Oberlin?
Yes.
Mark Sepiti?
Yes.
Nate Albert?
Yes.
Joe Kubal?
Yes.
Scott Dyke?
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you all. Next is just informational. I'd like to report the regular and overtime payroll from November 6th, 2023 through the 19th of 2023 in the amount of $253,036.67. Madam Clerk, I'd also, just while I got the mic, I'd like to have for next work session, I'd like to add an agenda item for discussion, topic being water billing supervisor's office. And that's all I have, unless there's any questions anyone has.
Any questions of city treasurer? All right, thanks, Glenn.
Thank you, good night.
Moving on, we have nothing under unfinished business. Anyone? New business?
I have something for new business. I'm not sure if should be executive session, but I would like, after doing some research, about, what's funny?
We're talking about who's gonna present this, sorry,
Oh, okay.
for
I'm
the
sorry.
committee reports, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I just thought it was about me, so I can clarify this. It's about the interims position that we're doing for GovHR, for the temp city administrator. If we can add another person, do I need to do that in executive session, or?
I'm sorry, what is the question? To add a person?
We are in the process of doing some.
If this is
for
about, this is
intro-
about the interviews?
For an intro, yes.
Yeah, if we want to discuss the hiring of a specific individual, that's something we can address in executive.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Okay, committee liaison reports, anybody?
Yes, Mayor. This is what. The 2023 holiday decorating contest is going on now, so the entry forms are available on the city's website, cityofcresthill.com, or in the clerk's office. Last day to submit entries is December 13th, and we will be judging between the 14th and the 17th, with the winners being announced at the December 18th city council meeting. So if you have any questions, you can call or text myself or Alderman Sapiti, or email us. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, you're welcome. City council comments, positive city council comments, anything you'd like to share with any of your constituents? Anybody like to go first? Alderman Dyke?
Nothing at this time, Mayor.
Alderman Verche?
Oh, we had a nice parade Saturday. Everything worked out now, thankfully. Good job.
Thank you.
Alderman Jefferson?
Nothing at this time.
Alderwoman Gazal?
Just echo what John said, good job, Blaine, for the short time, you did an amazing job, and I appreciate everything you do, and you and your staff.
Thank you.
Alderperson Overland?
I triple that blame, it was outstanding, you did a fabulous job, and whoever helped you, it was wonderful. Thank you very much, and remember, next year we're gonna help you.
Thank you.
I volunteered here too.
Yeah, Blaine, I want to just echo that. Thank you and your staff for all the hard work that you put into the parade and the Winterfest. I saw a lot of people and a lot of smiles, so I think a lot of people enjoyed it, as well as seeing a lot of smiles throughout the city through the parade. Brought a little bit of joy to people that day, so thank you, really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Alderman Albert?
Yeah, and ditto, Blaine, I really appreciate your leadership with Winterfest and the parade. I know that it was kind of been years since we've had a Winterfest, so putting that all together in a relatively short time, it turned out great. My family had a good time, and I know a lot of guests that were here had a great time, so thank you.
Alderman Kubal?
Mayor, I'd just like to point out this Thursday is the 82nd remembrance of Pearl Harbor Day. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Public comment. Anyone like to address city council, please step to the podium, state your name for the record. Address is optional. Let the record show that no one has approached the podium. Is there a need for an executive session to our city
Yes.
attorney?
Yes,
That would be for 2C1.
2C1,
Motion
appointment,
to be
employment,
So moved.
Could we also add a different agenda item for executive session under a different,
yes, which section?
120 ILCS 5/2C?
Which subpart, though? 2C1 is employment matters.
2C1.
Under 2C1? Yes. So we need a motion to go into executive session under 5 ILCS 120/2C1
So moved.
for employment matters.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderperson Overland, seconded by Alderman Jefferson. Questions or comments to the motion from the executive session? Roll call.
Claudia Gazal,
Yes?
Tina Oberlin,
Yes.
Mark Sepiti.
Yes.
Nate Albert,
Yes.
Joe Kubal,
Yes.
Scott Dyke.
Yes.
John Burchett. Darrell Jefferson.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, we'll be going into executive session at 7:34 PM.